So we'll define first here three topics we are studying in this class. First one is the work done, then potential difference, and last one is the absolute potential. First we define what is work done. Work done is nothing but it is a movement of the object from one point to another point by applying an external force on it. So this is called as work done. So work done, how do you define? It is a product of force into displacement. So that product will give you the work done, and work is nothing but it is similar to energy. Energy transferred is always equal to work done, and both are measured in joules here. Now we need to express this work done in terms of electric field intensity here. So we need to derive the work done in terms of E. So we are going to proceed like this. So first thing is, if you place a charge Q in an electric field E. So if a point charge is placed in an electric field E, that charge will experience a force. So that force is given by F is equal to Q into E. So what we are considering here, so a charge is considered a point charge that is placed in an electric field E. Whenever we place a charge like this, a force will be exhibited. So that force is given by F is equal to Q into E. Then if you assume the force and the field are moving in the opposite direction, then the value of F will be taken as minus Q into E. So F is what? It is a product of charge into E. That is, whenever we place a point charge in an electric field, F will be equal to Q into E. If you assume force and the field will always be in the reverse direction if they are moving, then F will be equal to minus Q into E. Then if you consider the work done, so work done is the amount of force into displacement. So differential work done, if you consider, it is dW, that is equal to F dot dl. If it is only W, how do you write? F into D. If you are calculating differential work done, it is the product of force into displacement, that is F dot dl. So dW is given by F dot dl. Whatever value of F you have calculated in equation 1, you substitute for F here. So dW will be equal to minus Q E dot dl. So differential work done will be minus Q times E dot dl. And if you want to find the total work done, that is, if you want to move that charge from one point to another point in an electric field E, we need to integrate this equation on the both sides. So if you integrate, what will be LHS? dW will become W, and RHS will be minus Q is constant, you can remove outside, integral E dot dl. Integral is carried out from the initial point to the final point. So in the limits, you can write IP to FP. So this is the expression for work done in terms of electric field intensity, and it is measured in joules. So once again, I'll repeat work done. So what do you mean by work done in physical sense? It is the amount of work done is nothing but displacement of an object from one point to another on the application of the force. Whenever we move that object, the work will be done. Or work done is a product of force into displacement. Here we are calculating the work done in terms of electric field intensity. So we assume a point charge electric field, a force will be exhibited or force will be experienced. So that force is given by F is equal to Q into E. In this, if force and field are in the reverse direction, F will be taken as minus Q into E. That is given in equation 1. Then we are going to define differential work done. That is, differential work done dW is nothing but F dot dl. Whatever F we got in the above equation, if you substitute, it becomes minus Q E dot dl. And if you want to get the total work done in moving the point charge from initial to final, you need to integrate on both the sides. LHS integral will become what? W. RHS will become minus Q constant. You remove outside integral initial point to final point E dot dl. And all of you should know both energy transferred will always be equivalent to work done, and both are measured in terms of joules. So this is the expression for work done. Next you have to define what is potential difference. Potential difference is also work done only, but we are moving a unit positive charge here. Instead of moving a charge of q coulombs from one point to another point, if you move a unit positive charge from one point to another point, whatever amount of work done will be there, that is equivalent to potential difference. So potential difference, how do you define? It is same as that of the work done in moving a unit positive charge from one point to another point. Here also this potential difference is calculated in terms of electric field intensity. So we need to use the previous equations, whatever you have used before. So what is potential difference? Potential difference is also similar to the work done. So it is the amount in which a unit positive charge is moved from one point to another point. Understood? So in this, in order to derive the potential difference in terms of electric field, we have derived what is dW in the previous equation. dW is minus Q E dot dl. That equation you can consider here, differential work done, and bring that Q to left side. So if you shift that Q of equation 1 to left side, it becomes dW by Q. So this work done by charge is nothing but potential. So W by Q is always equal to V. If it is dW by Q, it will be equal to dV. So the LHS part dW by Q results in difference potential, that is dV, and RHS will be minus E dot dl. Once you find the differential potential, if you want total potential, you need to integrate this equation on both the sides. So how do we integrate here? So if you are moving the unit positive charge from P to Q, the integral will be from Q to P because you are having the negative sign. So all of you should remember here, VPQ, if you write, it is you're moving the charge from P to Q. That means while integrating, since a negative sign is there, you need to reverse the points and then integrate. So it is from Q to P. So what is the expression for potential difference here? Potential difference is defined as, first, it is nothing but the work done in moving a unit positive charge from one point to another point in an electric field. So in order to define this potential difference, we consider first the differential work done, that is minus Q E dot dl. Then bring the Q to left side, you get dW by Q is equal to minus E dot dl. And then this work done by charge is nothing but the potential difference, so that can be replaced by dV, and RHS will be equal to minus E dot dl. And if you want total potential, you need to integrate on both sides. For example, if you're moving the positive charge from P to Q, LHS is denoted as VPQ, and RHS, since there is a negative sign, you need to do integration from Q to P. So it is measured in volts, and VPQ in terms of electric field, how you define minus integral Q to P E dot dl. So this is the potential difference in terms of electric field intensity. Next, you should define absolute potential, and you have to derive the expression for absolute potential in terms of charge Q. So what is this absolute potential? Once again, it is also work done in moving a unit positive charge here also. So we are moving a unit positive charge from one point to infinity in an electric field. So it is from one point to infinity somewhere if you're moving, then whatever amount of work is done in this case, this is called as absolute potential. So should know the difference between potential difference and absolute potential. All are work done only, but absolute potential is, it is a work done in moving unit positive charge from one point to somewhere at infinity and in an electric field. And this potential you need to derive, and this potential here in this case is calculated finally in terms of the charge q. So how do we arrive this expression? So listen here. So in the figure, if you observe, we have a point O, and at point O you need to place a charge of q coulombs. And then due to this q coulombs at a distance r at the point P, we need to find the electric field intensity first. So what we are placing here, at point O, a charge of q coulombs is placed. Due to this q coulombs at the point P at a distance r, electric field is obtained. So all of you know the expression for electric field is what? Due to point charge, q by 4 pi epsilon r square into ar. That is the first equation you'll get. Then you have to define the differential length. Listen here. Differential length dl is defined. In this particular figure, if you see, all the distance are measured with respect to r. That means the dl is not measured in L. It is measured in terms of r. So the value of dl in this case can be taken as dr into ar. That is, magnitude is dr, unit vector will be ar. Why we have to change dl to dr ar? Because all the radial distance, whatever we are taking here, it is in r direction. So the value of dl in this case will be equal to dr into ar. Then afterwards, you consider the potential difference equation. So what is dv we have derived in the previous derivation here? dv is minus E dot dl we have derived. You consider that equation here. So the potential difference is given by what? dv is equal to minus E dot dl. Then whatever the value of 1 and 2 equations you got, that you substitute back in equation 3. So 1 and 2 should be substituted where? Here. So 1 and 2. In 1 you have electric field E, and in second equation you have dl. Both the values of 1 and 2 substituted back in 3. So that you get dv becomes what? Minus q by 4 pi epsilon r square ar dot dr into ar. And you know how to write here? All the magnitude should be shifted to one side, and then ar dot ar you need to write. And dot product is what? If it is in the same direction, the dot product is always 1. So ar dot ar will be equal to 1. So you get dv as minus q by 4 pi epsilon dr by r square. So after calculating this differential potential, we need to convert this to absolute potential here. So before converting here, you will see the figure. So in this figure, what we are assuming here is the charge q is moved from the point A to B. So where it is moved from A to B, and the distance from O to A is taken as R1, and the distance from O to B is R2. So we are considering another two distances, R1 and R2, from the O. O to A is R1, O to B is R2. So based on that, we are going to find the total potential here. So difference potential you have derived. Now I need to find the total potential, means I need to integrate the above equation. From where to where? From A to B I need to integrate. So the above potential will be VAB, that is integral. I told you in the potential, since there is a negative sign, you need to reverse the limits and integrate. So you have to integrate from where? B to A. What is B distance? R2, and A distance is R1. So you need to integrate from R2 to R1. Understood? So after calculating the differential potential, the total potential is obtained by integrating from A to B. That is limits a to b here, but since you have a negative sign, you need to reverse and integrate. B distance is what? R2, A distance is taken as R1. You know normal integration how to do. First you should shift 1 by R square to numerator, so it becomes R power minus 2. What is R power minus 2 integration? R power minus 2 plus 1 divided by minus 2 plus 1. Understood? So you need to integrate dv, and then in the denominator r square is there. You shift to numerator, it will become r to the power of minus 2. R power minus 2 into dr integration is r power minus 2 plus 1 divided by minus 2 plus 1. That is x power n integration. X power n integration is x power n plus 1 by n plus 1. That formula you need to apply. Then if you simplify that equation, r power minus 2 plus 1 will become what? R power minus 1. Then minus 2 plus 1 will be equal to minus 1. And then there is a negative sign outside. So that minus q divided by minus 1 will become plus here. Then r inverse, how you can write? It is 1 by r. So simplify the negative signs. Minus divided by minus will become plus. Then r inverse is written as 1 by r. Then you apply the limits. Upper limit is r1 minus lower limit is r2. That is 1 by r1 minus 1 by r2 you get. So this is the potential difference VAB. This potential difference need to be converted to absolute potential here. So I told you absolute potential is, it is a work done in moving the charge from one point to infinity here. So the point B in this case is assumed as infinity. So once B is at infinity, then R2 will also be equal to infinity here. So 1 by R2 will become what? 1 by infinity, that is equal to 0. So if you are converting this VAB to absolute potential, the last point should be taken as what? The point B is at infinity, you should assume. Once B is at infinity, the corresponding distance, that is R2, will be equal to infinity. Then 1 by R2 will be 1 by infinity, that will be equal to 0. So if you substitute this value in the above equation, this potential difference VAB will convert to absolute potential, that is VA, because that B will be removed because it is at somewhere at infinity. So VAB is converted to VA. So what you get? Q by 4 pi epsilon 1 by R1, and second term will become 0. So what is the potential you get? Q by 4 pi epsilon R1. So this is called the absolute potential at the point A. So instead of writing VA, in general you can write it as what? V is equal to Q by 4 pi epsilon R. So much of volts. So this expression is called absolute potential due to a point charge, and potentials is measured in volts. Understood all of you? So what we are calculating in the last one. So once again I'll repeat here. We are calculating absolute potential. So what is this absolute potential? It is nothing but a work done in moving a unit positive charge from one point to infinity in an electric field. So in order to derive this, at point O you place a charge of 2 coulombs. At a distance r at point P, you calculate the electric field intensity. So that is E is equal to Q by 4 pi epsilon r square into AR. That is first equation. Then you need to define differential length dl. Since all the distance are measured in radial direction, dl will be equal to dr into AR. After calculating these two terms, you write the expression for differential potential. So we know differential potential is given by minus E dot dl, that is given in equation 3. Then the value of 1 and 2 is substituted in equation 3, and then you need to apply dot product and simplify. So what will happen if you substitute here? You'll get E value as well as dl value, both you need to substitute. Then the dot product you have to separate. bring all the magnitude to one side, and AR dot AR is written in the bracket here. And we know according to the dot product, AR dot AR will always be 1. So it will get, in the above equation, the vector will get cancelled. So dV will get minus Q by 4 pi epsilon dr by r square. After getting this differential potential, we need to find the total potential. So total potential means you need to integrate the above equation from A to B. Because the figure what you have considered here, A is from O to A is R1 distance and O to B is R2. So A distance is R1, B distance is R2. So if you want the total potential, LHS becomes VAB and RHS you need to integrate now. So that integral is from B to A, not A to B. Keep in mind, while doing the potential difference, you need to reverse it and integrate. So B distance is R2, A distance is R1. So integrate from R2 to R1. Normal integration you have to do and apply the limits, you'll get VAB, potential difference expression. Then you need to convert that to absolute potential here. So what you have to do, you have to assume the point B is at infinity, then R2 will become infinity. 1 by R2, that is 1 by infinity, will be 0. So if you put this value in the above equation, VAB will be converted to VA, that is Q by 4 pi epsilon R1. So this is called as absolute potential at the point A. So if you want to write in general, P is equal to Q by 4 pi epsilon R, so much of volts. So like this, you can derive the absolute potential in terms of the point charge, and which will result in a scalar quantity. So now we have studied three concepts here. What are those? Work done, potential difference, as well as absolute potential. All the formulas is given here. Based on these formulas, you need to calculate the numerical values. So what is understood, all of you? So we need to find work done. Second one is what? Potential difference we need to evaluate. And third one is absolute potential. So let us solve this problem, all the three problems in Cartesian coordinate system. So what is that? We need to solve this three values in Cartesian. Just what is there? You apply the equation, whatever relevant values are there, then you need to integrate it. What is given in the first problem on work done? See, all the three problems are almost similar. You can follow it. It's very easy. You need to find the work done in moving 3 microcoulombs charge from origin to one point in an electric field E. So here they have given a charge of 3 microcoulombs that is located at origin. So the point P1 you can take it as 0, 0, 0. Where you have to move this charge at another point that you can take it as P2, which is 2, 1, 3. So 3 microcoulombs charge is moved from origin to P2 in an electric field E, that is given the value in Cartesian. First you calculate for the solution. You draw the figure. Q is 3 microcoulomb. Origin point is P1. The next point is P2. Whatever E is given, you write it. Then you write the differential work done equation. What is dW minus Q into E dot dl? So that equation you write. In this, what you should write or calculate, E dot dl value should be calculated. So E is given in the problem. dl you should only write. So I told you in the coordinate system, dl in all the three forms. Since E is in Cartesian coordinate system, dl in Cartesian will be what? Dx ax plus dy ay plus dz az. Understood? First you need to find differential work done, not total work done. So differential work done, what will have? Minus q E dot dl, that is E dot dl need to be calculated. E is given in the problem in Cartesian, so dl also should be Cartesian. Dx ax plus d plus dy ay plus dz az. Then you know how to find the dot product. I told you in the coordinate systems class, or in the vector starting E dot dl you calculate. Write E whatever is given dot dl. Then if you remove the brackets, how many terms you get? Total 9 terms that is given here. In these 9 terms, how many will be present? I have written the table here. The diagonal values are 1, rest all 6 terms will be 0. All the 6 terms you make 0, only the diagonal values is retained. That is ax dot ax, ay dot ay, az dot az. All that will become 1. So finally, E dot dl will become a scalar quantity. That is 2x dx plus 4y dy plus 5z dz you get. Understood? So in the differential work done to calculate, first E dot dl you need to write. E is given in Cartesian, dl also should be written in Cartesian. Then you substitute both the values, expand the bracket, you get 9 terms. According to the dot product table, 6 terms will become 0, retaining only the 3 terms is shown below. So in this 3 terms, what happens? Ax dot ax is 1, ay dot ay is 1, az dot az is 1. So E dot dl finally results in a scalar quantity. All of you know dot product of two vectors is always a scalar product. After calculating this E dot dl, you need to find the work done. So write the equation for work done, what it is. Minus q integral initial point to final point E dot dl. Q value is given 3 micro, substitute Q 3 micro. E dot dl you have calculated, substitute there. And what is the limits given? In the problem, if you see, x varies from what? X is from 0 to 2, y is from 0 to 1, and z varies from 0 to 3. So each of the term you have to integrate with respect to the limits. So if you integrate, you'll get the work done. Understood all of you? So in all the work done problems, dot product E dot dl is calculated. Then you need to put it in the integral and integrate from initial to final point multiplied with the charge Q, you will get the work done. The similar kind of problem is done in the second type. Only little bit difference is there. While doing integration, I'll tell you what is the difference from previous and this problem. So here also you're doing what? Work done of 6 nanocoulomb charge. It is plus 6 nanocoulomb. So we are finding the work done in moving the charge of 6 nanocoulomb from one point to another point in an electric field. Here also what you should take, charge is Q, the first point is P1, second point is P2, find E dot dl, up till there it is safe. Now if you observe, listen here, one important thing what you should note here is, in equation 1, can you integrate the each terms directly? You should see x into dx you can integrate, y into dy can be integrated, but zx into dx dz can you integrate with respect to z? It's not possible because it has z as well as x, both variables. And another thing is, if you observe the points, whatever they're given, in the points, what are the values of x, y, z? X is changing from 2 to 1, y is changing from 1 to 4, and z is changing from 1 to 5. That means none of the values are remaining constant. All are changing means you need to integrate all the 3 terms. Keep in mind here. So since if you should observe the points here, in the points all the variables x, y, z are varying from some value to some. So in equation 1, all the terms need to be integrated. So z and x cannot be integrated with dz. What you should do in that? You need to find the relationship between x in terms of z in order to integrate equation 1. So how do you calculate that relation? Use equation of the straight line, that is z and x relation, that is z2 minus z1 divided by z minus z1 is equal to x2 minus x1 divided by x minus x1. The first point will be x1, y1, z1 in the problem. Second point will be x2, y2, z2. Substitute all the values. If you cross multiply, you will get x in terms of z. After calculating this, you need to put 2 in 1. So substitute x value 2 in equation 1. So what happens here? E dot dl becomes separately like this. First is having only what variable? X variable, so you can integrate directly. Second is having only y, you can integrate with respect to y. Third, now all that converted to z, now you can integrate. So keep that in mind. So zx cannot be integrated with respect to z, that x should be converted to z, then all the three are separate, you can integrate it. Once you calculate E dot dl like this, you substitute in the work done equation and normal integration you can do and apply limits. Understood the difference between previous one and this? Integration, if you want to do, all the terms should be separate. X and x, y, z and dz, all the terms should be separate. In case if you have combination of zx, so x should be converted to z or z should be converted to x, and then only you can integrate. So in this problem, we are converting x in terms of z, that is represented in equation 2. That 2 is substituted back in 1, and then we are doing the normal integration. So these are the two problems on work done. I hope all of you understood what is work done. So work done, you know, what is the expression for that also you understood. And in all these work done, dot product of E dot dl is calculated first. Then we are putting in the integral and we are going to integrate it. If integration can be done directly, you do it. Otherwise, if it's not possible, you use the relation of the straight line, substitute back and then do the integration. Next one is problems on potential difference. So this is also similar to work done only. Here the charge will be 1 coulomb. Instead of some value, it is positive charge. So Q is 1 coulomb. Then in integration, you have to reverse it and integrate. Rest all is same in this also. Understood? So what is given in the problem here? You need to find the potential difference between the points 1, 2, minus 1, 2, 2, 1, 3 in moving a unit positive charge in an electric field E. So first point is taken as P, second one is taken as Q. First, what you should find in this also, E is in Cartesian, so dl you write in Cartesian. Find the dot product that is given in the equation 1. And you see the points given in the problem here. So what is the points? If you observe the points, x, y, z, all the values are varying in the points. That means none of the terms in equation 1, that is dz, dy, dx, will not be 0. It will be present as it is. So you need to integrate equation 1 directly without anything. Understood? So it is, if all the values are varying, you need to integrate equation 1. How to integrate here also? First and last term, it is single variable you can do. What about middle term in equation 1? X and Y combinations are there. So what we are going to do here, we convert X in terms of Y by using that straight line, and then we substitute and integrate. That is the difference you should do. And then what is the points while integrating? It is from P to Q you integrate. And homework is given. If you want, you can do. Otherwise, you can just revise whatever is done. So this is potential difference. One problem is given. You want me to repeat again? Potential difference is similar to the work done. Only the difference is Q is 1 in this case. And while integrating, you have to reverse the limits and integrate. And next one is absolute potential. Absolute potential is they have given you need to find the potential at 214 due to a point charge of 6 microcoulomb located at 3 minus 1 3. So where is the potential we need to find? 214, that will be P2 point, and the charge is 6 microcoulomb, that is Q equals 6 micro, and that point is P1. So write the general equation for absolute potential. What it is? Q by 4 pi epsilon into R. And here epsilon R is not given, so epsilon will be epsilon naught. Then we need to find this scalar distance R. So what is this R? R is the distance between P1 and P2. So how do we calculate? By using the distance formula, we need to calculate here. So what is R for the P1 and P2? It is square root of general formula is what? X2 minus X1 whole square plus Y2 minus Y1 whole square plus Z2 minus Z1 whole square. Now the first point P1 is X1 Y1 Z1. P2 is X2 Y2 Z2. Put those values, you'll get R. So after getting R, you substitute in the potential. So V becomes what? Q is 6 micro, 6 into 10 raised to minus 6. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught is 9 into 10 power 9. And R is root 6 or 2.44. You put, you'll get the potential value. Understood? So again in the simplification, what I told you in the first class, power should be added or subtracted. That power value should be kept as it is. Last you should write it in kilo, milli or anything, whatever you get at last. So what is the potential unit? It is volts. So how do you calculate absolute potential? The charge is assumed as Q. The corresponding point wherever charge is located is P1. And where you calculate the potential is taken as P2. Then after that, you write the general equation for absolute potential. V is equal to Q by 4 pi epsilon naught R. Epsilon R is not given, so it should be what? Epsilon naught here. Then distance R should be calculated. R is the distance between P1 and P2, so use the distance formula here. It is square root of x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square plus z2 minus z1 square. Which is the x1, y1, z1? The charge point is x1, y1, z1. Where you calculate the potential is x2, y2, z2. Put those values, so R will be 2.449. After calculating this distance, potential V becomes what? Q is 6 micro, that is 6 into 10 raised to minus 6. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught is 9 into 10 power 9. And R value is substitute, you'll get the potential. So this is potential due to a point charge. Same way you can find resultant potential due to two charges also. The principle is same. So in this problem, what they've given is you need to find the potential at the point 141 due to 2 point charges of 3 nanocoulombs and 6 nanocoulombs. They are located at points where 213 and 313. So based on this data, you draw the figure first. So listen here, instead of single charge, you're having two charges which is located at 2 points. Due to both these charges, you need to find the potential at some point, that is 141. So to draw the figure, first charge is taken as Q1, that is 3 nanocoulomb. The corresponding point is P1. And the second charge is 6 nanocoulomb. The corresponding point is P2. Due to Q1 and Q2, let us find the field at P point, that is 141. So you join those lines here, P1 to P and P2 to P. P1 to P is R1, P2 to P is taken as R2. Now this is absolute potential due to two charges. So Vp is equal to what? V P1 to P plus V P2 to P, you can write. First you find the distance R1 and R2 by using distance formula. You should know out which points you should subtract. P minus P1 will give you R1, P minus P2 points will give you R2. Then you substitute in potential, that is Vp is equal to Q1 by 4 pi epsilon naught R1 plus Q2 by 4 pi epsilon naught R2. Put all the constant values and simplify, you'll get the absolute potential due to two charges Q1 and Q2. So in this, you have studied what all work done, physical meaning of work done, and how you're going to express the work done in terms of potential, sorry, electric field, that is W is equal to minus Q integral E dot dl, that is work done expression. Second one, potential difference. VPQ is given by what? Minus integral Q to P dot dl, and it is measured in volts. And last one, we have derived absolute potential P is equal to Q by 4 pi epsilon R. And based on these three in Cartesian coordinate system, we are solving the problems for that. And two problems we have done for each.